This area of the apartment complex is still without power. I actually want to take you guys inside. We're going to turn off the light on our camera so you can see exactly how dark it is. 21-year-old Logan Jones passed away on this very street earlier today, but the community is already showing support. His body was laying on this street earlier today, just about 3 hours ago. As you can see right behind me, there's a tree down on this entire street. Dozens have lined up to vote with about an hour and a half left to cast their ballot. If you look behind me, you can see this line is pretty long. And check this out. This security device right here has actually 3 cameras inside. You can see that someone has left a candle on the scene to remember Danny and his life. If you or anyone you know knows what happened to Danny or any information, it's the worst it's been all night, all day. This is the worst it's been. The lights are out. But what I can tell you is we know that 22-year-old Daquan Williams is deceased after an incident that occurred yesterday. The ones behind your 911 calls are the first responders. This parking lot was filled with crime scene tape. This weekend's rainfall makes it nearly impossible to get through roads just like this. Just at one of the many checkpoints that are set up all over the Warner Robins city. Reporting in Milledgeville, Jayla Whitfield, WGXA News.
I was hoping that you all were calling to tell me that you had somebody who did it to bring closure to us, but that wasn't what it was.
Ophelia Austin, Sophia's grandmother, thought we were calling with an update in her granddaughter's case.
I would like to know, why did they do this? Why would you take somebody's life and you still want to walk around and have a good time? It's just not right.
Sophia Denmark's family is still searching for answers after she was murdered in her Pleasant Hill home 10 years ago. Her grandmother remembers when she moved there.
I went over and tried to get her to come and stay with me. And she didn't want to stay with me. She said, this would be the first time I'm on my own.
Nearly 2 months after living on her own, her mother received a call.
Cousins came by my job to get me to come and identify the body to see if it was her. I can't even explain what that was like.
Sophia suffered during her death, according to the Bibb County investigator, Sean Bridger.
Somebody strangled her and caused soft tissue damage to her throat area.
Till this day, Sophia's mom still remembers the last time she laid eyes on her first child.
Eyes was closed and I don't know, her hand was like this, like maybe she was trying to protect herself or grab whatever they were trying to choke her with.
The nature of Sophia's death felt very personal to her mother.
We could look and tell that she really went through a struggle, and she had turned dark, and her fingers, she had really fought with her fingers.
And she may have helped in the search for her killer.
DNA was found under her fingernails. I'm not able to answer whether or not it matched anybody at this time.
10 years later, and still the Denmark family has no closure, but they never stopped trying to seek justice for Sophia, even when the odds were against them. Investigators thought they had the man who killed Sophia behind bars, Gregory Allen.
It was new to me. I didn't realize this was a cold case. The last dealings I had with the case is that Gregory Allen admitted to strangling, to killing Sophia Denmark. I actually went and looked and saw that the case, Gregory Allen the murder had been dismissed, but he had pled to concealing a death.
Investigators say there are loose ends that need to be followed up on, but finding Gregory Allen is first on the list.
We got to find Mr. Allen. And from what I understand from one of our other investigators is that he's deceased now.
Now the person charged with concealing Sophia's death could be gone, but police say they're going to do everything they can to bring this case to a close.
I'm praying about it every day, and I believe somebody's not going to rest until they come forward.
Jayla Whitfield, WGXA News.
If it was me, what would she do?
Arthena's husband, Virus Caston, has been by her side since the first day she was diagnosed with this incurable disease.
He called me, my husband, and on March 23rd, we went to his office, and he gave us the diagnosis. And that was the day.
Arthena was diagnosed at 51 years old with Alzheimer's. Now the stages are getting worse. Her husband says she's not the only one that feels the impact.
When it really get into the stages, it ain't gonna be her that has a hard time, it's going to be the caregiver. It's going to be me. So I'm preparing myself or prepping myself that I can do this.
Dealing with the disease isn't a first for this family.
As I told my husband, I've watched this. I've watched my father and 5 of his brothers and sisters go through this. I just lost a first cousin the other day. I mean, this is the reality. It's baby, it is. And this is the hardest thing for me to realize it is.
Her husband says he notices the changes in her daily, but the hardest part is losing her family connection.
The hurtful thing for her, just realizing that, you know, I'm not going to know who my grandson is or my kids are. And even my kids, they're like, Mom ain't going to know who I am.
So now her husband of 30 years continues to prepare for the future.
It takes a strong person to say, you know, one day my wife ain't going to be able to talk.
The facts that face them every day has not wavered their commitment for each other.
I would assume that if somebody say you HIV positive or you have the measles or whatever, when somebody tell you something wrong with you, it changes your life. You know, and here's a life-changing situation that we are going through.
Because the Castons say this disease has the power to test the strength of love.
Are you going to stick by that person? When they say for better or for worse, that's what you're signing up for. You know, so we're going to be all right.
Yeah, we're going to be all right.
Jayla Whitfield, WGXA News. Good evening and thanks for watching this late edition of WGXA News at 10. I'm Jayla Whitfield. Eric Mock has the evening off. Now, more than 100 gambling machines were found inside a church in Houston. Firefighters made the discovery after responding to reports of a fire inside the Word of Life Church Friday evening. New tonight, the campfire in Northern California is now 100% contained, but county officials made the announcement Sunday morning. The campfire started November 8th near the town of Polga. It killed at least 85 people and is now considered to be California's deadliest fire. Developing now, back-to-back earthquakes measuring 7.0 and 5.8 rocked buildings and shattered roads today. Our weather team has issued a weather warning days ahead of our next storm system. Meteorologist Matt Mackey joins us live in the Weather Center. And Matt, we could be dealing with some wintry weather this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It all comes with that storm system that will be making its way through the southeast on Tuesday.
Well, new tonight, an 11-year-old is behind bars after threatening violence to his school on Instagram. The convicted killer, who Texas officials say could be the most deadliest serial killer in history, has confessed to more Georgia murders. Samuel Little will spend the rest of his life in prison for murders in California. He's also given law enforcement key details that link him to the more than 90 murders across the country. Well, check this out. These students want to welcome visitors to the A. 1 million people are expected to be in Atlanta next week for their Super Bowl on Sunday. Congress has approved a short-term spending bill to end the government shutdown. For now, President Trump backed off his demand for billions for a border wall, but threatened to shut down the government again in 3 weeks if he doesn't get the wall funding. ABC's Kenneth Motion has the latest. Cold weather and possibly a chance for snow tonight. Matt, we've been hearing for days now that there's a chance for the white stuff. Is that still true?
It's not a sure bet, but the possibility remains that we could see a couple snow showers mixed in with our next storm system. That would be Tuesday.
And one Macon teen is behind bars after being charged for a car break-in this week. According to deputies, the break-in happened Wednesday when deputies responded to Bain Street for entering auto. Now, the teen was identified by her social media accounts. The 17-year-old is charged with 1 count of entering auto. Well, for you married people out there, this holiday is just for you. Today is National Spouses Day. If you're married, nationaldaycalendar.com suggests spending time with your significant other, reconnecting, saying I love you. Now, a nationaltoday.com survey of more than 1,000 married people found the top reasons people appreciate their spouses. Number 1, 60% said their spouse is a hard worker. 2, 56% said they can be themselves around their spouse. And rounding out the top 3, 56% said their loved ones make them laugh. Now, what do y'all think about that?
I think that if you're married, every day is supposed to be National Spouses Day, and I think most married folks would agree with me.
That's
You're
a
right
very
about
good
that.
answer.
You're
That's
right
good.
about
Very
that.
good
Well,
answer.
Valentine's Day is coming up, so you know.
It is coming up.
That's kind of
And I
Day.
do have it on good authority that Miles Garrett does not have a spouse. He is single, ladies. So,
Folks, find us on Facebook. Miles Garrett, WGXA, Macon's most eligible
got me covered.
bachelor.
Well, thanks for watching WGXA News at 10.
Stay tuned. We've got 2.5 Men coming up next.
have a great night, everyone.